Hello everyone, welcome to GB Bricks. My name is Glenn. In today's video we're going to look at all of the LEGO Ideas sets that are slated to retire in 2025. So basically this information comes via the website Brick Fanatics, who every year put together lists of the various LEGO themes and the sets that will be retiring by the end of that year or sometimes midway through the year. And whilst this hasn't been officially confirmed by LEGO themselves, their lists are incredibly accurate, a very good success rate in terms of the sets that they suggest or say are going to be retiring. So I will show you each one from the LEGO Ideas range. There are 7 in total, and I will show you which ones. So which sets are retiring by the end of this year from LEGO Ideas? Well, let me tell you. So just a quick word on LEGO Ideas if you're new to LEGO at all. LEGO Ideas is quite a different theme from LEGO in that the sets themselves come via submissions from fans, and there is a website that you can submit an idea to, and if your idea is chosen, and the process of that is initially to receive, I believe it's 10,000 votes from your peers, and anyone can vote on the website, and then it goes to a review phase where LEGO themselves will look at it. They will choose specific sets, and then if your set is chosen, it will go through a redesign process where LEGO will make sure they're happy with the build in terms of structure and integrity, and then it will become an official LEGO set. It's been running since 2008. It was first known as LEGO Kuso, as it was done in collaboration with a Japanese company before taking on the Ideas name, and I believe as it stands at the moment there are 60 LEGO Ideas sets, with a couple more confirmed, due out very soon, and a few more in the works. Okay, with all that said then, let's move on to the sets that are retiring. The first of those is LEGO set 21335, which is the Motorized Lighthouse. This set includes 2,065 pieces and released in 2022, and is a really quite delightful build. I do own this one. I have this on display in my living room. I actually bought this, my wife chose this, it was around about her birthday a couple of years ago now. We were out and about in London, and the day was hers, if you like, and you know, whatever she wanted to do and whatever she wanted to get, and she chose to get this LEGO set, and we brought it home and built it fairly soon after, and it looks fantastic when on display. It's motorised, as you would expect from the title, with the motor itself hidden away in the rocks of the build down below, and this allows for the lights of the lighthouse to spin around and illuminate the surroundings in quite an authentic fashion. It is an expensive set. You're looking at about £259.99 in the UK, or your regional equivalent. Over here in the UK at least, you can purchase this from John Lewis's stores, as opposed to obviously LEGO themselves, and that may be the way to go if you're looking to get this a bit cheaper, as they do put this on sale periodically through the year, usually at about 20% off. So you're looking at about £50 cheaper when that obviously, or when those sales occur. And yeah, it is a beautiful set. It is quite expensive. It's difficult to recommend something that's that expensive, but once it is built and it's on display, it does look quite stunning, to be fair. If you have the disposable income, or you are, you know, someone that saves up for one big treat every so often in LEGO form, then this could well be one to get. I do think this is one that will go up in value when it retires. I think it may be similar to the fishing shack that we had a few years ago in that respect. The next set then is LEGO set 21341, which is the Disney Hocus Pocus Sanderson Sisters Cottage. This is another one we own. It's another one that belongs to my wife, actually. She doesn't even like LEGO that much. You'd think she was like mad about it from the start of this video, but this one, again, it was our wedding anniversary a couple of years ago, or maybe last year. I think it was last year, and I asked her what she wanted, and she asked for this. She's a big fan of the movie, the first one, and I think she liked the sequel as well. And yeah, she wanted this to kind of commemorate that, and again, once built, it looks really good. It's a very good representation of the source material. I've seen the film with her, the first one at least, and the minifigures, again, they do a good job of putting across the feel of the three witches, the Sanderson sisters, Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, wasn't it, and Kathy Najimy, I think the other lady. I remember her more from Sister Act, but yeah, they were the three actresses, I'm sure. It portrays the Sandersons' home. There's a part in the film where it's like a museum, isn't it? I think it's maybe before the witches return. Can't quite remember now. I've only seen the film once, but you see like the museum-esque red rope barriers and things like that, and some of the artifacts are in like cases, glass cases. You can lift the roof up to access it properly, which works quite well. It's not the most intuitive of the mechanisms I've seen in a Lego set over the years, and you can also, I believe, open up the front of the house, more dollhouse style, again to get better access. You also get the 3 children from that first film, the 2 older ones and the young girl, all dressed up in their Halloween costumes, or at least the young girl is. It's another one that's quite expensive. It's about £200 give or take here in the UK, £199.99. And this one, I believe, Argos have in terms of exclusivity, so if you don't want to buy from Lego themselves, you could well get it at Argos. Argos are quite strange in that sometimes their prices are a lot higher than other places, and their staunch won't drop at all, and then suddenly they'll do a big sale and they'll drop 25-30% off. So it's worth keeping an eye on them. And one other thing on Argos, if you're here in the UK, they don't look after their boxes at all. So if you want a nice box, it's the chance you take if you order from Argos, because they seem to play football with them in the back of their warehouses, I think, at times. But yeah, so it's not exclusive to Lego, which is good if you are holding out for a discount. But this looks to be the second set that could retire at the end of this year. Next we have 21342. This is the Insect Collection. I've looked at this one a few times in the Lego store. It does intrigue me. I have been tempted by it, but ultimately I think it's not one I'm going to pick up, and that's not a knock against the set at all. I do think it looks quite lovely actually. It's obviously an interesting subject matter to have such large insects in your house on display, but I do think they've done a good job of representing obviously the insects included. So the 3 insects that are included then, you have the Hercules beetle, the blue morpho butterfly and a Chinese mantis. I believe the original submission had more insects included. I think it was a bee and a ladybird, perhaps, can't quite remember, but the point is that when I mentioned at the beginning that Lego will look at your build if you are successful, and they will obviously change it, this is a good example of that happening. Sometimes it will be, as I mentioned, for structural reasons. They may feel it's not stable enough. It could well be down to profit margins and what have you. But yeah, this was an example of such a thing happening. They're nice and bright, and they come on their own individual display stands. I do think there are kind of Easter eggs in there of those missing insects. I think there is a small tile print of a ladybird at the very least. I'm not sure about the bee. But yeah, I'm sure they're hidden in there somewhere. It sells for £69.99, this one. And it is another one that's available via John Lewis. So again, if you're looking for a discount before it's too late to get it, then that may well be the way to go. Because again, it will be one I'm sure that they'll drop by about 20% at some point over the next year. Next one is 21343, which is the Viking Village. Now remember, there being a bit of hype about this one when it was about to release, and I think this is a fantastic set. I do own this one. I haven't built it yet, but I do own it, and I bought this day one, which is something I don't usually do. I'll be honest, just because I think the price actually is 100% on point. It sells for £124.99, or again your regional equivalent, for £125 for this set. For the amount of minifigures you get, I think there are 4 in this set, but they're decent ones. They do the stereotypical Viking horns on the helmets, that sort of thing. The village itself I think looks great. Lovely use of verticality with some of the buildings. There's a small wooden bridge at some point that goes across to like a lookout tower. I think this set is one of the best priced Lego sets in a good while, excluding sales or anything like that. Just base price from Lego themselves. £125 for this I think is incredibly fair. If you don't want to pay quite that much though, I am relatively sure that this is another one that you can get via John Lewis. I think they drop it down to about £100 when they drop it down. So if you're wanting to wait, that may be an option. But I do think this is very good value, even at full price. And yeah, if I didn't already have it, this would definitely be one that I would be picking up. Then we have 21344, which is the Orient Express train. I don't own this one, and I do want to get this one. I really want to pick this up before it does retire. I can't bring myself to pay the full price, which is £259.99. As lovely as I think this set looks, that's a bit too much for me. But I'm going to try and get this with my insider's points. I did the same thing earlier this year. No, it's 2025 now, isn't it? Sorry, late last year then, with the the Zelda tree, the Deku tree, which was another set I really liked, but just thought it's too expensive, and I'd rather miss out on it than pay the price being asked. But I saved up my insiders points and got it effectively for free. I think I paid about £3.50 for it in the end. So I'll try and do the same with this. But anyway, I digress. In terms of the source material, so obviously it's based on the Orient Express, which was a real train or a service of trains that made a particular route across parts of Europe for many years. This is a difficult one. I don't know a lot about the Orient Express. The most I know about it is via the Agatha Christie novel Murder on the Orient Express. So I may be wrong in what I'm saying, but I think I'm right in saying that there was no one design, you know. So I think the original submission was a green, like an earth green train, which people really liked, and Lego changed it to blue, and there was a bit of an uproar. But I'm fairly sure that the actual train itself never had one distinctive colour. I may be wrong there. But aside from that, you get a few minifigures with it, 8 in total. The minifigures do look as if they are period piece minifigures, looking to emulate, I'd say, the kind of late 1920s, early 1930s, which would put it around the time of the novel, Agatha Christie's novel that I mentioned a minute ago. Would have been nice to get a Poirot inspired minifigure, but that might have been a bit too on the nose, and of course it's not based on that novel anyway. But yeah, no, it's a lovely looking train. I do like Lego trains. I'm not a big train person in general, but I do make an exception when it's a Lego train. Again, another problem some people had with it was that it wasn't motorised for the price. That doesn't bother me at all. I mean, you can motorise it yourself. I think the reason Lego gave was that the extra weight would make it difficult for it to go around corners. It can be done. I've seen videos on people doing it, but that's why it's not included apparently. Just be aware, if that's something that you really need in your trains, then it's not going to be found here. There are some nice building techniques from what I've seen. There's some kind of side-on build-in in terms of the windows, which I think looks really effective. And yeah, I definitely want to pick this up. Very expensive though, as I said. If you are feeling the same, just be aware it's one that looks to be retiring this year. The penultimate set is 21346, which is the family tree. This has been out about a year as of now. It came out February last year, 2024. And it's an interesting concept. It's a tree build. It's a nice tree build. It comes with a nice kind of autumnal feel to it. But the idea is that you attach photographs to it and literally make it your family tree. I'm not sure how popular it was. I've seen it built in store and it does look very nice. It was one my wife really liked the idea of, actually. She did say that she quite liked it and wouldn't mind getting it. I'm not sure if we will. It's just space and just the photograph side of it. You know, it's not, you don't really have physical photographs as much anymore. They're usually stored on your phone. Maybe it's one we'll pick up and we'll make a point of getting some photos developed and obviously attach them to it. But yeah, an interesting concept. It sells for £79.99, which is quite expensive for what you're getting. I think the US got a better deal, or at least they got the same price, but obviously in US dollars, which would work out cheaper as far as they are concerned. I think this is probably the one on this list of the 7 that will interest the least amount of people. But again, as I said with a couple of the others, just be aware, especially because it's not been out that long. It's one to kind of, if you're interested, expect that you've got a lot longer than you look to have. Remember, this is a provisional list and it's not been confirmed, but they are pretty accurate the vast majority of the time, so just be aware of it. But yeah, it looks like this could well be another one that's retiring this year. And the final one then is 21347, which is the red London telephone box. This actually released, I'm fairly sure, on the same day, same release window as the previous set, being the family tree. This is one I do own. I think this is lovely. Now, obviously, I'm English. I've seen these red telephone boxes my whole life, either going into central London or just about places the rest of the country. You know, I was up in York fairly recently, and with the family on a holiday, and we saw a couple of these up there just walking around the streets of York. They're not in use anymore. Some of them have actually been turned or repurposed into things such as defibrillator stations or kind of little libraries, and they've got a few different uses now. Some are just as they always were, albeit obviously not usable. But it was lovely to have this kind of, I don't know, homage or nod to the classic London telephone box. As well as the box itself, the whole diorama comes with a lamppost and there's a railing in the background with a street name on. That's the part that really says London. You know, the box itself could have been most places in England, but kind of the style of the lamppost and the railing especially does scream London. And you can build the telephone box, the telephone within the box, in one of two ways. You can have a more retro style telephone box, or you can have a more modern interpretation as well. I think the retro one has like a yellow pages inside as well, and there are a few advertisements kind of meant to be stuck on a billboard or a notice board above the phone itself. Again, it's a difficult one to recommend. I'm sure there are some people that have no nostalgia for England or no real attachment to London or anything like that would look at this and think, well, what's the point? But if you either are from here, or you just, you know, love quirky things that are nods to other countries, particulars, if you know what I mean, you know, something that's very particular to a certain country, then this could be a nice little display piece. Yeah, I have mine displayed next to my TV in the front room, and it's a nice little piece. You push the top down as well, and there's a light brick in there that lights up. Yeah, no, it looks lovely. I'm happy I've got it, and yeah, £99.99, quite expensive. Again, just be aware it may well be disappearing soon. So there you have it. There are 7 LEGO Ideas sets that could well be retiring at the end of this year. Like I said, Brick Fanatics, I'll put a link to their website down below. They're pretty good when it comes to this. LEGO, behind the scenes, I feel sometimes, even if the list would have been correct, I think they changed their minds and they pushed some sets back. So it may look like Brick Fanatics ultimately were wrong with some of them, but I feel that at the time of saying it, they were bang on. It's just by the time that LEGO confirm it, perhaps they've changed their minds. Let me know if you're picking any of these up, or if you've already owned any of them, or what your thoughts are on them. Stick it all in the comment section below. If you want to watch any more of my content, there are playlists, and there'll be some videos flashing up in a minute. I do a host of things. I do top 10 videos on various LEGO themes, haul videos, mock building, all sorts, reviews. So yeah, if you want to check anything else out, it'd be much appreciated. Until then though, happy building.